Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and this is a breakdown of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier Episode 5, Truth, in which Julia Louis-Dreyfus leaves John Walker more dumbstruck than a shield to the face. I'm gonna explain your big questions and break down all the subtle details that you might have missed in this episode. So we open on John Walker mid-sprint, just like how Captain America the Winter Soldier opens for Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers in the middle of their runs. Except this Cap is running from his problems, not interested in making friends. But listen to the music. Composer Henry Jackman recalls his music from Captain America Civil War. You also hear this leitmotif later. This whole fight mirrors that 2-on-1 fight that ended that film, in which Bucky teams up to take down a rival who is filled with rage over a dead loved one. Now, Sam's focus goes to the blood still on the shield.
John.
Yeah, notice that vibranium hums, a sound effect they often do with the shield to indicate its kind of weird mystical qualities, but here it's boosted up as if Steve's spirit is dismayed at these stains. Now Bucky tries to calm John.
Don't go down that road. Believe me, it doesn't end well.
I'm not like you.
Yeah, notice how Bucky just takes this in, biting his tongue, letting the other two talk for a bit, and he only speaks up once more in the last line spoken right before punches are thrown.
You don't want to do this.
Yeah, we do.
But we gotta break down this fight move by move because everything is amazing in it. Early on, Bucky grapples with Walker and goes for his gun, smartly disarming him as soon as possible, and he knocks that gun loose, but in response, Walker, in slow motion, raises the shield to bring it down on Bucky's head, just like he did to Nico, so we're freaking out. But Sam jumps in to save Bucky, and that scary moment happens again at the end of the battle, when Walker brings that shield down on Sam this time until Bucky returns the favor. I love the way Sam uses his wings in this fight, first using one to slap that shield out of Walker's left hand before he catches it with his right, and then later Sam backspins on his wings to trip Walker. And when Walker throws the shield at Bucky, knocks him off his feet, Bucky catches the shield and briefly wields it. If you think about it, every time on the series when John Walker flings something at Bucky, Bucky always catches it. Walker throws Bucky, smashes his vibranium arm, causing it to glitch briefly, though it appears to recover shortly after. Sam tries to tether the shield, similar to how Peter Parker webbed the shield in Civil War out of Cap's hands, but it doesn't work. Walker pins him, rips off his wings, and they restrain Walker to try to pull the shield off his arm, similar to the Avengers dogpiling on Thanos to remove the Infinity Gauntlet, until inevitably, using the force of Sam's jetpack, they freaking break his arm. Ugh. If you think about it though, Steve Rogers' arm was also broken as he fought Thanos in Endgame. Remember there was that close-up where he tightened the shield strap as a tourniquet. So in that way, Steve fused the shield with himself to make himself whole, whereas Walker breaks himself over his attachment to that shield. I mean, throughout the MCU, one of the best things about this shield is the way it's been used in collabs. And here is another collab for those books. Now, Bucky drops the shield for Sam, another mirror of the way Cap dropped the shield for Tony in Civil War. And as he does this, he is bathed in these beams of sunlight, almost as if getting Steve's blessing to return his spiritual symbol to its rightful place. And right on that drop, a little glimmer of light reflects off the shield. And as Bucky walks off, listen again to the music. Yeah, the composer is bringing back the end of the line music that he composed for Captain America Winter Soldier. That was the moment when Cap dropped the shield to show his friendship to Bucky.
I'm not gonna fight you. You're my friend.
Later on, Torres tells Bucky,
Hey, you got your sleeve back.
he's calling back Bucky tearing off his sleeve before that dumb jump out of the plane in episode 2, and Sam tells Torres to take these broken wings.
Wait, yo, you forgot the wings.
Keep 'em.
Yes, Joaquin Torres does become a version of the Falcon in the comics when Sam becomes Captain America, so we could be looking at the origin for New Falcon. I mean, Sam's line here does feel a bit like Tony's moment with that pre-recast Rhodey in Iron Man.
Next time, baby.
More like Next time, boom, you're looking for this. Walker goes on trial before a council. You can see the flags for the U.S. Army, U.S. Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard. So I assume this is some combination of the Joint Chiefs, maybe with the chairman of the Senate Armed Forces Committee, because he's a senator, they're military people. Maybe this is a government body representing the U.S. delegation to the GRC. Look, it's post-blip. Who knows how government works? Then Walker goes, Kavanaugh.
I lived my life by your mandates. I dedicated my life to your mandates.
And then a very cold...
You built me.
Yeah, through Walker's rage, we are given a clearer reference point for Isaiah Bradley, who was another super soldier who was just following orders, but in his case, he was not allowed to walk free. So what does John Walker have to complain about? Then Walker is approached by cameo alert!
Little cameo.
Seinfeld and Veep star Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. So you can just call me Val, but don't call me Val. Just keep it in your head.
Yes, Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine is a longtime S.H.I.E.L.D. agent in the Marvel Comics, often associated with Nick Fury. She goes by Agent 14, and at another point, Madam Hydra, when she joins Hydra, but that was really a short-lived mission when she was actually part of the Leviathan and she was betraying Hydra, undermining them. Folks, DeFontaine is a lesser-known figure, and a lot of folks right now are jumping on her being Madam Hydra, confirmed! But that arc was really just a small part of her run. Like, she plays a big role in Secret Invasion, replaced by a Skrull who really kicks off Nick Fury's initial suspicions. She works on a FemForce team with Sharon Carter. You could jump to the conclusion that she is the power broker the show has been hinting at, though I think it would be a bit weird to introduce this big cameo right now, but then wait to doubly confirm her as the power broker, a character who is referred to with male pronouns. I mean, she may just represent whatever faction of Hydra is left after they were hunted down and routed. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus seems to be playing it with the same kind of wry humor that Gary Shandling played Hydra-loyal Senator Stern.
I would have killed the bastard too. I mean, you would have been doing him a favor if you'd taken out the whole lot.
Yeah, DeFontaine sounds like she's part of some shadowy government agency, one without oversight, without a public face, which, yeah, sounds a lot like what Nick Fury initially was doing with S.H.I.E.L.D. And Hydra did corrupt S.H.I.E.L.D., so it is plausible that she could be heading up a secret division of Hydra that's still active somewhere, perpetuated by Zola's algorithm, which could mean Empty and my Zola handcar could still arrive at the station. But I don't know, it seems like Marvel just pulled a long-time, lesser-known comics operative and plans to do something entirely new with her. So it's not about her history, it's about the plan.
You did the right thing. Taking the serum. Yeah, of course I know about that. It has made you very, very valuable to certain people.
Which certain people? Well, notice that indigo streak in her hair. I think DeFontaine could be at least partly inspired by high-ranking S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Victoria Hand, in the comics, deputy director of the Thunderbolts Initiative during the Dark Reign. Now, Victoria Hand already appeared in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which Kevin Feige has been kinda indicating ain't really MCU canon, but since we already saw that character in a Marvel TV show, maybe they're pulling a different female S.H.I.E.L.D. operative from Marvel Comics. Either way, it's not just the hair, it's the fact that she values Walker because he took the serum, and she knows government secrets, and the Dora Milaje are taking Zemo to the Raft prison. Remember that? That was a facility from Captain America Civil War, overseen by Thaddeus Ross, whose name appears in the end credits of the show associated with the Enhanced Humans Act. And we know from the first Hulk film that Ross was deeply interested in rebooting the Super Soldier program. DeFontaine could work for Ross, recruiting super anti-heroes on a team named after Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, the Thunderbolts, the anti-hero team in the comics initially headed up by Zemo. I just won't be surprised if this season ends with Zemo on the raft, maybe John Walker in the cell next to him, as DeFontaine strolls past them, offering them a chance for redemption through the Thunderbolts Initiative, where they can join forces with other forgotten Marvel villains, like Ghost, like Agatha Harkness. Don't tell me you don't want to see Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Catherine Hahn in a scene together. Hey, look, folks, I know you gotta look at this dumb face in between all the Easter eggs and theories, which can be a little awkward, especially since I'm not really a skincare aficionado. I kind of associate that stuff with American Psycho or the people that own bearskin rugs. That said, I know I should take care of my skin. I am on camera every day, which is why it's so great that the folks at Geology have hooked me up with some skincare products that I have been loving. You take a 30-second quiz and they send you a product set formulated for your specific needs, whether that's controlling acne or reducing puffiness under your eyes or reducing fine lines and wrinkles. They send you a 30-day trial set that's really easy to incorporate into your routine. A minute in the morning and a minute at night before bed is really all you have to do. Here's what they sent me. I got this everyday face wash. You know, it's just kind of the basic thing. It's a face wash that you use every day. And then you have a Vital morning face cream. You just kind of apply it early on, and all day you're feeling fresh. And then a repairing night cream, so if you spend a whole day building up some stress acne for getting your theories wrong, just put this stuff on and then you'll sleep it all away. And I also got some nourishing eye cream. You just put it around here and makes you look less sullen. And if you like the results after those 30 days, continue on with their 90 days of supplies or order a la carte. Do whatever's working for you. They have great customer service and over 3,000 5-star customer reviews. People are going to notice the improvements in your skin. I'll take a compliment over my eyes looking less tired over a bearskin rug any day of the week. Head to Geology.com and take their free skincare quiz to save up to 40% off on your 30 days trial, or just click on the link below. That's Geology.com to save 40% off your 30-day trial. So Zemo visits the Sokovian Memorial that he mentioned in episode 3. This is one honoring the victims of the Battle of Sokovia and Age of Ultron, which includes Zemo's family. Actually, that lake behind it looks like one formed by the runoff from the upended terrain as the city was lifted, and Zemo's music from Civil War returns here. Oh, actually, by the way, we have a new Zemo-inspired shirt design in our merch store, NewRockstarsMerch.com. It looks amazing, very cool design, and you can get your hands on it. Again, NewRockstarsMerch.com. Now, this statue has a large Sokovian eagle on it, with a base showing Russian letters. That last word translates to Sokovia, I think. Now, interestingly, in the December trailer, this shot included a ton of flowers, notes, and flags at the base of the statue, and was not yet surrounded by a wall of names or have a paved surface. I get those other changes, but why remove the flowers? Well, perhaps the flowers were laid for more recent Sokovian victims of a global pandemic and whatever that removed virus subplot was. Now, they would have changed that before December, but maybe they didn't get around to updating this shot in particular yet. Now, Bucky holds himself to rule number 2 by not harming Zemo, handing him over to the Dora Milaje.
We will take him to the raft, where he will live out his days.
And I like how they come and go in that Wakandan Talon fighter that we saw in Black Panther. So Sam revisits Eli Bradley, future Young Avenger Patriot, and his grandfather Isaiah Bradley. He carries the shield once more in that art case that Steve had it in Endgame, a nod to his sketching hobby. Isaiah cites the Red Tails, the famous 332, referring to the 332nd Tuskegee Airmen who fought in World War II. But as the scene goes on, it is a heartbreaking and challenging scene in which he shares more about his own tragic history.
A handful of us got shot up with different versions of that serum. They tell us it's tetanus.
So this episode gets its title, Truth, from the comic series Truth, Red, White, and Black, which explores Isaiah Bradley's erased history as the Black Captain America. And with this tetanus line, sounds like this show is referencing the horrific Tuskegee experiments, in which the government promised Black syphilis patients free healthcare, but actually just gave them placebos and let them die. Isaiah goes on to talk about his missions during World War II.
A couple of the boys get captured on a mission. I heard the brass talking about blowing the POW camp to hell to hide the evidence. And I brought them boys back.
Yeah, think about it. This mirrors Steve Rogers' rescue mission in that first Cap film when he freed hundreds of POWs that were written off as dead pretty much. But instead of the heroic greeting that Steve got, Isaiah was freaking tortured and imprisoned for 30 years. Isaiah talks about his eventual escape.
There was a nurse. She took pity on me. Wrote up some fake reports, something. She had me declared dead.
Actually, we might have seen that fake death report for Isaiah Bradley in the end credit sequence. So Sam goes back to Louisiana. He helps fix the family boat with some help from Bucky, who brings new gear designed by the Wakandans. And we only get a tiny glimpse as Sam opens it at the end of the episode. Kind of kept a mystery, Pulp Fiction style. I'm guessing we're going to see new vibranium wings and a color scheme and functionality that incorporate the shield so that Sam can feel comfortable carrying it without feeling like he has to live up to Cap. In fact, I think that could be the deeper meaning of this line.
Why didn't you use the metal arm? Well, I don't always think of it immediately. I'm right-handed.
Yeah, the way Bucky doesn't have to think about his arm, Sam doesn't want to have to think about carrying the shield. So Sharon Carter gives a call to Batroc.
Oh, please, if it weren't for me, you'd still be rotting away in that Algerian prison. I can give you double this time.
Now, MT speaks a bit of French and was able to translate Batrocc's rant as saying that he lost his team on the last mission and that he would never work for Sharon again. Hey, thanks, MT. But this confirms that Batrocc's mission in episode 1 was, in fact, orchestrated by Sharon Carter and her criminal operation in Madripoor. Now, again, I would be surprised if Sharon is revealed to be the power broker herself, not just because of the pronouns, but because Zemo knew the power broker before he was imprisoned in Civil War, before Sharon broke bad, and really, Sharon seems like too much of a foot soldier for a godlike crime boss with spooky murals. Still, I do think she is part of a criminal organization, maybe working for the power broker, maybe trying to undermine him, and maybe she's sending Batroc in to help the Flag Smashers in their mission against the GRC so that Batroc can gain their trust and then lure them back to Sharon and the power broker. But check out this painting in her art collection. This is the Raft of the Medusa. It's a French romantic painting depicting the infamous wreckage of the French naval frigate Le Medusa. I don't know, leave that to MT to get that right. This is a real ship in history that ran aground and then had a super incompetent captain that led the crew to starve and get super dehydrated and start eating each other. So with all the focus on it here, maybe Sharon actually has plans to stage a mutiny on her crime boss, the power broker, seeing him as a failure to run a tight ship in Madripoor. So Bucky wakes up to see AJ and Cass playing with the shield. I love that Bucky now sleeps on the couch instead of on the floor. Definitely a sign of improvement. And they play some catch.
Feels weird.
Sam is calling back his words to Steve when he first picked up the shield in Endgame.
How does it feel?
Like it's someone else's.
Now notice when Sam catches the shield, he braces and recoils with its momentum, whereas Bucky just kind of catches it with a little recoil. Not only is Bucky stronger with his arm and the serum, but this shield is also an awkward fit for Sam still, with a heavier historical weight based off of the dark truths that Isaiah Bradley left him with. But then Bucky reveals,
When Steve told me what he was planning, I don't think either of us really understood what it felt like for the black man to be handed the shield.
yeah, this confirms that Bucky and Steve did talk over that shield succession off screen during Endgame. But also, interestingly, that old Cap remembered that plan throughout his entire alternate life before rejoining them. Bucky brings back up Steve's notebook, and Sam says,
But Steve is gone. And this might be a surprise, but it doesn't matter what Steve thought.
so does gone mean dead, retired, returned to another timeline, or on the moon like Torres thinks? I mean, just show us a freaking headstone for the old man and leave the door open to younger Cap in the multiverse and we'll be done with it. Sam tells Bucky that he has to be of service to his victims. That's a true way to make amends, probably setting up Bucky to return to old Mr. Nakajima and tell him the truth about his son next episode. And then Sam's looking hot as he's working out with that shield.
All day, man.
Uncle Sam!
All day could be a reference to Cap's catchphrase, I could do this all day. And his nephew's calling him Uncle Sam again reflects Sam's growing comfort with bearing these patriotic colors. Meanwhile, the Flag Smashers grow their forces in Tompkins Square Park in New York, somehow getting into the US despite being highly sought after terrorists, whatever. Batroc hooks them up with some weaponry, and their new recruits disrupt a meeting with the GRC who are trying to vote on the Patch Act, which was told to us in a news report on WHIH. And presumably it'll be here in New York that all these warring parties will meet, including Sharon Carter, whom we see in promo footage, and John Walker with his new homemade shield. He actually hammers that together in this episode's post-credit scene. Now, actually, another big MCU title ends the same way, with credits that just go to black and you hear the clanging of a hammer. Avengers Endgame. These were, of course, a nod to Tony Stark hammering in the cave with the rocks and scraps in the first Iron Man. And this scene is a reference to that as well in Walker's man cave. Now here, Walker melts down the Congressional Medal of Honor that we actually saw him holding this earlier. And he uses this to fuse together the metal of the shield. Now, while I doubt this shield is made of vibranium or anything stronger, by being made of the military metals, it does bear a deeper, more personal significance for Walker. We heard him repeat throughout this episode,
I am Captain America.
I am Captain America.
And this man's gonna be Captain America in his own mind, even if he has to cosplay to do it. But my favorite detail of this final shot is once again hidden in his hands. As he spray paints that metal ring, he coats his thumb in a dark red, not at all caring about the blood red stains that he gets on his hands. And yes, this is our Anarchy assembled shirt, also available at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EAVoss. Follow New Rockstars. Subscribe to New Rockstars here on YouTube for breakdowns of everything Marvel. Thank you for watching. Bye.